Welcome to Awakened Titans podcast with Lily Patrascu, mind-blowing conversations with influential business titans sharing how you can manifest abundance, love, joy, success through quantum awakening, quantum manifestation, quantum healing, quantum miracles, exponential business growth, and innovative products and services. Discover the ultimate productivity system called One Life, One List in this interview with Christian Moser. He's an IT architect, productivity coach, and best-selling author, and he has trained and optimized the standard operating procedure of hundreds of companies such as Bosch and BASF. Now, the first question I have is, what's the secret to your success?
First of all, Lily, thank you for inviting me to that conversation, and I love to talk about all the things around productivity, about enhancing also the lifestyle, because we are sometimes we get so stuck in our work because we don't see left, because we don't see right, we don't have time. So I went through a lot of things in my life, and I learned how to optimize my things, to go through a huge breakdown, but also to focus on how to get a big breakthrough. So I think that is one of my secrets, that I went through that, let's say, which happens in my life, so that I can be a really big contribution to others who have the same problems. And it is not about only the private stuff you have to clear up, because if you're not able to clean up your private stuff, you are not able to organize your big enterprise. Yeah? So if you Lily, the box system. You remember when a few years ago we talked about the box system. You're an entrepreneur, but you struggled with your private stuff, how to declutter your apartment. So once we talk about the box system, how to start with that, how to go through that, suddenly you are free. You are free of clutter. And the same principle which you apply in your private life, you can apply in other areas of your life, in your data, in your organization of your company. Yeah? But first of all, you have to create a mindset for so many things. And I think we talk a bit more about also the systems we apply, about the philosophy of One Life, One List. It's important that you, first of all, set your mind to the essentials and then rise it to a higher level.
Great. So what I loved the most about working with you on your book called One Life, One List was it was the most incredible book I have ever managed to work on. It was really like the most incredible book. And the reason why I consider it was so incredible was, first, I'm passionate about organization and I love enhancing my productivity, and I love doing 100 things and, getting more things done in less time. So everything was just like so brilliant. But what I loved about your concept, which is something extraordinary, I have not seen this concept in any other book. And it was, first, you have the One Life, One List philosophy of life, which helps you to create a freedom lifestyle. And this is something you created. And you also have created the One Life, One List productivity system. And within that, you have, I think, about 22 different subsystems, among which the box system, the hotel system, the minimalism system, and some other systems. The backpack systems. And what I found was so extraordinary is that every single one of those systems can help you as an entrepreneur to live a freedom lifestyle. Because I think those that are listening to this podcast, they are high-profile entrepreneurs, they are multimillionaires, and they are wanting to improve their productivity and also to reduce. Let's say you're currently working 16 hours a day. You want to be working 8 or 2 if you can. If you even can imagine something like this could even be possible for you. And I really think that with your system, One Life, One List, with the philosophy of life, and also with the systems you have created, it is possible to reduce your working time in half or even less, because you have so many systems that can be immediately leveraged to dramatically reduce your time and become more productive. Now, can you tell us a bit more about this philosophy of life, of one life, one list, and also the one life, one list system, productivity system? How does that work?
First of all, there's one favorite topic in that area, and that is the two terms efficiency versus effectivity. So, the most important thing for us human beings is to create an effectivity, be effective. Yeah. So we want to create something, people are excited and they buy, for example, they buy a product. Yeah. But most of the people, they forget that the way from how to accomplish, for example, a product is something you have to look at very, very clearly. There's a simple example. If I want to go from Cologne to London, I have the choice. I can ask Elon Musk, please send me a SpaceX rocket, bring me to London. I'm there in 5 minutes if it works. So, but I also can I can also go by bike, or I can take the train, or let's say a Ryanair flight. Yeah. So now I have to check what is it worth to get to London. So I don't need to be in London in 5 minutes. So the SpaceX I don't need. Yeah. So maybe with a bicycle could take me a bit too long. So it is the cheapest way, but it's too long. So the let's say the train is the most effective way, because efficient way, because it doesn't cost so much. The time is okay, and I'm in London anyway, and I can drive. I can take the morning train, so I'm in London in the afternoon. Yeah. So this is one of the most important things, by my opinion, to always have a look on what are we going to invest to accomplish an effect. Then the second is sometimes things seem so simple and they seem not worth to be discussed about in the area of entrepreneurs, because it seems to a thing which everybody knows. Yeah, but here's the thing: maybe, and it's in the coaching business everywhere, each coach has someone who knows more than this coach, and each coach also needs coach for his own development. Yeah? So the same is with One Life, One List. One of the examples is the backpack system. Yeah? The backpack system sounds like, okay, it's for backpackers. Yeah. And to be honest, I told my son about the book, and I told him about the backpack system, how I pack my backpack. And he told me, hey, Dad, that's totally clear to me. I know how to pack a backpack because I'm a backpacker. Yeah. Okay. That's the one thing. But imagine a backpack system is only a template for anything you have to pack, like the luggage, like the backpack you take with you as an entrepreneur, because there's the notebook inside there or whatever. Imagine you fly from Germany to Singapore for a conference. Imagine you are not aware of how to pack your things, and on the way you know how it is under security control, whatever. So many things can happen. And imagine you lose your passport there. The result is that you might miss one of the most important meetings in your life, making the most important contract, which brings you millions of bucks into your cash flow, just because you have not been aware of how to pack your things. And it might be that you get another chance to have that meeting later, or maybe the next day, but there is already something in the space which will reduce your chance to make that business. Yeah? And this is the thing. One Life, One List, we share in One Life, One List, we share from our own perspective. I experience all the stuff, like how to declutter my house, how to declutter my life, how to declutter my company, how to pack my backpack, how to do this and that. And so I can share from experience that these things are really, they are on the whole, from the whole scale, from private up to high business. It's important to set the mindset, to create an awareness in your head. Yeah. One and one The last thing, which I think is a really essential part of the philosophy, is the term iteration. Iteration in the mathematics means you do something again and again until you accomplish the goal. And this is same in life. Take the box system. You start. Let us go back to the private area, but we can do it also. We can also do that in the company, where you have to arrange something new. Look, you start to declutter. Yeah. So the first iteration, okay, you dump this and that, and you're happy. But maybe half a year later, you go again through this cycle. You look at the things. Okay, there's something wrong. It's still too much. You declutter again and again. So at the end, and it took me 20, 30 years. I think 30 years ago, I started with that process, 30 years. It took me until now that I have only one single luggage left. And believe me, since 1 year, I live with this one piece of luggage. And you know what? You know me from the former times. I was busy, I was stressed until the end. I spent 3 months on Bali last year, working from there, living there. When I came back from Bali, it was too cold in Germany, so I went to Ibiza 1 month. Yeah. So now I'm here in Germany. I work here for 2 or 3 months, and in 2 months, I'm going back to Bali and Philippines. Yeah. So that's my life now. That's my life now. I'm now 60 years old. I start a completely new thing. I have just left one luggage and I'm free to go everywhere in the world. I can afford the luxury I like. If I don't need the luxury, I leave it out. This is, you remember the term luxury minimalism. Yeah. I can have a Ferrari for a weekend if I like, but I don't need to block the money with the Ferrari in my garage. Yeah. Here's the thing. I think that's what made One Life One List to what it is now. The experience of, let me say, 30 years in my life. And at the end, look at the mechanisms we share in One Life One List. This is not completely new. Only the combination, how we present it, is new. Yeah? Look, there are books like Think and Grow Rich, yeah? 100 years ago. This guy already shared essential things, but human beings, they have to always be we have also represent the things in a way that they are inspired and touched by the things we present, because we come from our experience, and that's why we combine all the experience in that area in this One Life One List project.
Great. Now tell us, what's your blueprint for creating this ultimate productivity system for another person? Okay, so imagine that listeners want something very practical. Okay, so tell us, how can we use any of your systems, and tell us how to use it. What do we need to do exactly? Any of your systems.
This is there's one basic thing, and this is, you can apply that on each system. We call it the 5A. So we start with, first of all, there is something in your life, and you have to get aware of that. What is not working? That might be in the private thing. Your house is full of clutter. In the company, the financials are not correct. Your relationship might not be in a good state. So first of all, get aware. The next step is to we call it amnesty. Yeah? So that means just forgive what is to there. Don't block yourself. Okay, I have lived the last years with this clutter. I did so many mistakes in my company, and my reputation is gone. Whatever. Just forgive, amnesty. Yeah. So then analyze. Next is analyze. What is it? What is it exactly? What is blocking you? Let's come back again to the box system. Okay, the living room is full of stuff, or in the company, we have too much departments and they don't work together, and everything is there is no optimum in the processes. So now you have analyzed where is the potential for improvement, and always analyze what is it. When you're talking about your personal freedom, what is also you helping as a private person or an entrepreneur to gain that freedom lifestyle, in terms of gaining, and you know that, gaining time. Yeah, it's not always about gaining more money. Sometimes it's only about gaining more time for the things you love to do. Imagine you're an entrepreneur, you work from morning to evening, yeah, and it's not about the money for you. Furthermore, the money you get, you invest to make more business and to let you grow your company. But what you give up is maybe your relationship. You give up your family. You give up you don't know how your children are growing. Yeah. So the next step is action. Yeah, once you've analyzed what is the action, what you have to do, and this is normal project management. This is just working with lists, making lists, tick them off. What is done, what is not, what is still to be done. Create routines where things don't go well. Just learn how to apply those routines in terms of, for example, saving time. You remember the morning routine we discussed a few years ago, how to save half an hour per day for your life. And half an hour per day, how much is in a year? It is 150. What do I say? A half an hour? That's 150 hours, which means already you save 6 or 7 days of time in your life. But you cannot put them to the bank account. But maybe you can spend half an hour in the morning with your family instead of just doing something which makes no sense. So this is a number 4. And the last A is acknowledge yourself when you've accomplished something. Yeah. Acknowledge yourself and then continue, see what is going wrong in other areas. Also go to this circle. And I would say this iteration never ends in life. It took me 30 years to declutter my whole life in the area of private things, in the area of relations, in the area of my money flow, my business, my projects. And yes, after each iteration, I'm proud what I've accomplished, but I see again a new potential for the next iteration. And this is the secret, because it's not only about making worse things better. It is also about, if you're in a good stage to raise yourself to the next level in your life.
Okay. Now, what I remember from your system, the ultimate freedom lifestyle system called One Life, One List, is that you have about 22 systems or so. And maybe in the meantime, you've come up with more. And I remember that, for example, you had a system for networking. Like, for example, the way that you enter the data into your phone. You had a system for even your medical health, because let's say when you travel, you want people to know what illnesses you may have, or allergies, or I don't know, different medication you have to take at critical moments in case you have an accident, right? So you have so many different things in place that I'm sure most people haven't even considered. So why don't you tell us one of these systems? Why don't you tell us maybe about digital management on your computer, or whatever is easy for you. Tell us about one of the systems that most people don't use, but you do.
Let's take the digital thing, because this is one of the favorite things, and I think it's getting more and more important. Do you know how many cloud systems you are connected to? Do you know where your data is spread in the world? I didn't know that a few years ago, and I think most of the people still today don't know where is the data located. And let's go back 3 years. I checked my Google Drive, and I was shocked how many files are still in the status of being shared with other persons. And I shared this file 10 years ago with others, and the share still exists. So not saying that this is a dangerous thing. I don't know if someone can access my file system on a Google Drive when he has a share. However, he can access he can still access that document. I don't know if he has the opportunity, also the possibility also to do more bad things with that. But this is one of the most important things. I think it's more important than the physical world. The physical world, we can remove things, we can make a weekend and we declutter our house, but data is much, much more difficult. So here's the point. First of all, that is when before I say ramping or rising the systems to a higher level, like the box system. If you apply the box system in your life, you can also apply the box system in data management. So create boxes in data management. That means subfolders or folders, and organize your data in those folders. Okay, everybody knows that there are folders, but at the end we create, let's say, 1,000,000 folders, and we lose the overview, and then we share the folders with another cloud. Then we have a Dropbox, we have a Google Drive, we have an iCloud, whatever. I think I had, let's say, 5 or 6 different cloud systems where my data has been spread in the world. So first of all, I applied this box system on my data system. I first of all checked all the clouds. I put the data to one central point, to one cloud. I think in that time it was the Google Cloud. I put all the data there. Then I realized, okay, I create a folder and a subfolder and a subfolder. Yeah? So here I developed a system how to really keep the structure, the data structure extremely flat. And that works not only for small business, that also works, by my opinion, even for big companies, for big projects. And in my IT projects where I work as an IT architect, I also try to introduce this system to the customers. Some of them are already on that level that they understand. Some of them don't want to let the old time go. So let me tell you an example. The human resources department in a company, we have a folder for each person, for each employee. And then under this folder, we have 10 subfolders, the CV folder, the folder for this and the folder for that. At the end, most of the folders only contain 1 or 2 files, and most of the folders are empty. So I reduced that to one single folder, main folder on the Google Drive. That is, the folder is called Partners. And below that partners, each partner, like Lily Patrascu, has one folder. And below that folder, first of all, I try not to create more subfolders, but I put all the data into that folder. And that requires a specific naming system. So if you give your files intelligent names, that will help you automatically to reduce the amount and the deep of folders in your system. So nowadays, I just have a single structure, a very flat structure, partners, and below that, only the partner folders, and below that, only in exceptions, I create a new subfolder to make a bit the difference between the files. Same is whenever I go to an event or when I prepare something. This is the second main folder I have. It's called events. So whenever I do something, for example, let's say with my team, I create footage for the new reels for the next week. So we have a meeting on Sunday and we take footage. So we create under events, we create a folder with the date, like 2024, 12/05. That means the 5th of December. And then just a little text like shooting for reels. So everything what we create on that day, we put it to that folder. No subfolder, nothing. But this is the space where we store all the things. And that means at the end we have, let's say, 100 or 1,000 event folders, but we as human beings, we know what has happened. So we always find this data very, very quick. We have not a complicated structure, and that's the second main folder I have. And there is another folder, but let's say at the end I have 3 or 4 main folders, and this organization system you can apply in little, small environments, in big environments. It works always. It requires organization, and it requires a naming system. And that's what we also describe in the book, like how to apply a naming system, how to standardize also your notes, etc., just to make it short and really easy without that you need another system for organizing all this stuff like archive systems or whatever. You don't need that. You don't need that.
Great. Now tell me, the other day, okay, I met this guy and he bought this company for like $80 million, okay? And he agreed to meet me for like 15 minutes, okay? And I got the impression that he was very organized, because I got the impression that every 15 minutes he had another person he needed to speak to or have a meeting with, or, you know, he was time blocking and using that as a technique for organization. So I'm wondering, do people like that? Do they need any of your ultimate organization productivity system, or do you think that they have it like completely figured out? Or is there anything you can think of that they could potentially use that they are not using at the moment?
To be honest, when you look at the one life system, it is the philosophy, and also in the book we mentioned, you mentioned before, 20 or 25 systems currently. Even though I call me to be, I say I'm an expert in organizing, and I'm an expert in enhancing productivity. I also am always very happy when I hear other possibilities how to optimize the process. So the 20 systems does not mean that it's at the end. And you mentioned that already at the beginning, there might be already some new systems, and that's the case. Yeah. So, and the other way around also, when we introduce our system and our philosophy to others, yeah, some of them say, okay, I know that, I applied it as well. And let me say a little bit, let me share an example from which happened today. I had a conversation with someone about the Eisenhower principle. You know that the Eisenhower principle, that Eisenhower was the general, was in the military in the Second World War. I think it was the U.S. general. What is general? How you say the highest position in English? Admiral or whatever. So he was the one who was leading the U.S. Army, and he has some principles how to decide what is to be done now and what is to be done later. So it's always about importance and the relevance. If it's very important, and it must be really done, and it's and then it is then it has a higher priority than something which has no importance, than just if it's there. I think he created a kind of square where he put the task in these squares, and that is his decision matrix how to do something. So I was thinking about that. How can we also share about that in a reel or whatever? I went to my guys and they say, yeah, we know that. We just wanted to create that principle as well. So for me, that was I haven't heard about the Eisenhower principle itself. I have heard about other things, but here is the point. Eisenhower, he lived 100 years ago. Yeah, he already had that idea. So now I hear that, and I'm going to implement it into the One Life One List system again. So at the end, One Life One List is a kind of, let's say, Bible, yeah, or whatever. Yeah, it's a kind of cooking book where someone can take out things which are new, yeah, and just try it out. Look if that is improving your life. Some people, they have not a clue about anything, yeah, so they are happy to get a basic guidance, yeah? But many people, they already have some experience. So we don't say that we are the gods or whatever and we have invented that. No, everything in this world, what you do already exists on another place, or someone has done it already, because we are 8 billion people on this planet. Yeah. So we should not think that what we think has nobody else has been thinking about. Yeah. But it's our job to always recreate the things to those who have never heard about that. And we are content creators. Yeah. So it's also about the story we are going to tell. If I tell you with excitement and how this box system, for example, helped me to get so much space in my home, and how I got so much time for the rest of my life, then you believe me, because you see, I'm the template. I applied that in my life. So you are ready to follow my advice. Huh? And here's the thing. That's the One Life One List. We offer you a bunch of potential to optimize private life, business life, whatever. Just take out what you need. Yeah?
Great. Now tell us, what do you feel are the most useful systems you have created that can be useful for high net worth, frequent flyers, frequent travelers?
Yeah, definitely. One of the systems is definitely the backpack system, but another system is also yeah, the travel system, where you for example, you lose your passport, you lose some data, or you don't have money because you lost everything. So you should create a kind of system where wherever you are in the world, that you are ready to recreate what you need for the next days to survive, that until you have clarified everything. Yeah? So in case of you lose your passport, the minimum you need is to have your passport, a copy of your passport on any place, yeah, where someone who you trust can access that. You can get with that to the embassy. Yeah? Then check what you need wherever you are in the world, how much money you need to survive a few days until you get some transfer. Okay, nowadays it's more easy to receive money. But imagine you have lost your computer, your passports, whatever, you have lost everything. Yeah? The only thing you can do is to go to Western Union or whatever, money agency. But even that doesn't work because you have lost your passport. How you want to show them that you are the person who has the right to receive the money? Yeah? So find somehow something how you can access, let's say, $5,000, yeah, to survive those days where you have where you're lost. Yeah. So, and I think, okay, the world is getting more and more digital, but still money in paper or coins exists. Yeah. So I also recommend to always to have a little bit of cash money with you so that you can really cover the essentials with that. Yeah? Maybe in 10 years, we don't talk about cash furthermore, then it's getting more complicated. And I think when you then lose your smartphone or when you lose any access to a database, it might not exist furthermore on this planet officially. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's also a challenge for us in One Life One List for the future to deal with that, yeah, like artificial intelligence or especially things like that where we have no access furthermore on data. How are we going to deal with that? How can we make that safe? And as long as you have no routines, yeah, nothing works. And traveling is, yeah, it can be dangerous. Yeah? It's fun, it is nice, but in wherever you're in the world outside of your country, when you travel, it might result in a mess if you're not prepared.
Great. So I love that you have some systems that are all about preventing the worst possible. But I also think you have some systems that are about just being prepared for anything and being prepared in an organized way so that you know exactly what you have in your bag, for example, right? You have a suitcase with essentials and there are certain lists that you always have in your bag, such as maybe like your toothbrush or your shaver or your gym kit, or there are certain things that you always have, right? That's part of your system. Am I right in saying that?
Right. And this is the core and basic and always original concept of One Life One List. Yeah, why is it coming to the name? Why is it One Life One List? So we discovered that there are a lot of systems in the world already. You can manage your life. You can manage whatever. For example, a list of what you have to put into a backpack, or the morning routine. It's also a list. Yeah. The shopping list for your imagine you have guests and you want to create a party. The essential thing you need to survive that party is that you have the stuff in your fridge what you want to serve. Yeah. So also here's a list. Yeah. So but we tend to create a paper where we write something. We tend to use this system and that system, and there we make some notes in Excel or whatever. Yeah. So at the end, everything is not centralized. Yeah. So, and the concept is you have one life, and your life has to be organized from your perspective. You want to be safe. Yeah. So put all the stuff which is essential to one single list. So it makes no sense to have a list in just 1,000 top 1,000 items just sorted and that's it. So One Life One List consists of all those items which are affecting your life, like buying tomatoes or packing the toothbrush into the backpack. But then you start to cluster the list, to start to structureize this list in a way that it makes a bit more sense. So we avoid duplicates. So once you have put that item toothbrush to the backpack into that list, it's sufficient. But there you create a sub list which is called backpack for let's say long journeys, backpack for short journeys. And this toothbrush you just put as a copy to both of the lists, because the toothbrush you need no matter if you are going for a long trip or a short trip. But there might be some items you only need for the long trip, some items you only need for the short trip. And the good thing is when you have this centralized list, that's what I do whenever I travel and I come back and I watch my luggage. Okay, this thing I haven't used the whole 3 months on Bali, so I just take that out of the list because I know the next time I don't need to pack that into that list. So I take it out of this list in my centralized One Life One List app, and from there, I know the next time I have it. I don't need to check which note I made to what I have to take with me or not. And it is just on a central point of access. And this is what we are offering with the app, so that you can first of all store all the things in a simple way, and we try to make it so easy that you just don't need to think about technology on your smartphone, on your computer. Just put the things there. Then when you have time, just sort it, cluster it, put it into the order you like, and then you have it always with you. Wherever you have access to the internet, you have all your lists. And that can list. What is a list? A list can be also your workout plan. Yeah, like I'm a fan of calisthenics. Yeah, so I met a guy in Bali. He showed me calisthenics. So I just made a list, a sub list. This is my workout plan for the upper body, for the lower body, and this is for the abs. Yeah, so. And that's it. But I also have workout plans from other coaches I trained with. Yeah, so but I don't need to dump them, and I don't lose them because I have them forever in my list.
Okay, sounds very exciting. So, I mean, there were so many of your systems that I loved, and I really loved something that I
I'm my
did.
biggest fan, huh?
So there were so many that I loved, and actually there was one that that I never use. Okay, but I do think it's important to use as a business traveler, as a frequent business traveler. Let's say you have some medical conditions, okay, then you need to store this data into what do you suggest they store this data in? Is it like in your phone? Is it in a little notebook? Where do you suggest they store it to make sure that they have access to it in case of an emergency?
Look, I think most of the smartphones nowadays, they have especially such an app, like I'm an iPhone user, so there is a health app, and there I put my medication in there, and the amount and what time I need that. I think this is not. I think nowadays this is available in each smartphone, even also Android. I don't know Android so much, but I'm sure they also have a similar app. But however, I would also put that information just in a sublist in one life list as well, and share a link to others who can access to this part of my list. This is also part of the one life list system, that you can share parts of your list with others. Like, let us say, example, you go shopping and you want to send somebody, maybe your child or your partner should go and shop this part. So you can share a part of your list with his app, so he can have insight into your list to do that task you request. So the same is with medical information or with essential information, which requires for sure a bit more safety. So that also requires that one life list as a system, as a software system, is safe, that it is crypted, so nobody can access your private data. To be honest, I also save some essential data I need for access in a few areas of my life. But this, first of all, I crypt it with my brain, so I don't write them down. Even so, it's a hidden system. I don't write them down clearly, but I also use the application mechanism to really crypt the information. Yeah, and only those who are authorized can open it. Yeah. So, but this is the advantage of the global network. So whenever I have my one life one list in the system, I can share with others. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. So the ultimate productivity system, called One Life, One List, comprises of multiple systems. One system is about handling your medical data. So when you travel, you have this data about your medication and any instructions for people that maybe need to save you in case. So maybe you can have like a little notebook or something with this information handy next to your passport or something. If you are allergic to something very special like nuts or, then you have the backpack system where you store things in a particular way every single time so that you actually don't forget where you put stuff, and that way you maximize your time. Then you have the suitcase system where you include all the different things that you will regularly use, but you only ensure to use luxury minimalism so that you have everything you need, and you invest in high quality items that enable you to have what you need when you need it, right? And you also have the hotel system about, keeping everything tidy and not having more than you need. There's so many different systems that I think business travelers and high net worth individuals and any entrepreneur can leverage in order to have more time to create a freedom lifestyle.
Exactly.
So there are so many tips, but because we don't have so much time, we are going to leave this episode here. And all you have to do is go to the links in the description of this episode to see a lot more information about this particular groundbreaking system that Christian has created. And he also has an app, One Life, One List app, that can help you to become more productive. And he has a best-selling book as well, One Life, One List, that can help you to become more productive. And he's available for coaching as well, which is really awesome. So stay tuned for the next video. Follow us for more interviews with world's most influential business titans, providing you with the insights to awaken to your full potential so you can get paid to be yourself, find true happiness, and manifest anything you desire.